at stock research tools that I use online. A couple of them are free, some are paid. I like the paid versions because some of them it clears the ads away or gives you more data. So I use third-party places, not E-Trade, not the brokerages, right? Charles Schwab. They don't have as much as what I would like to look at. It's very traditional, especially on brokerages. They'll say they have information and data and things on the platform as like a incentive to use them, but I find them all just useful for trading mostly. Punch the trades in, research and things I do elsewhere. So I wanted to look at Shopify, and I'm looking at Shopify on mainstreetdata.com. This is something on a visualizer that I just found because I used to use a place called Hypercharts. They got acquired and they don't exist now. So visualizers for quarter-over-quarter financials, and what we're looking for, this is Shopify, and this is the type of information I want to see. So very, very helpful. All that you have to do, right, this is public information. The SEC has all the filings when a company has its quarterly reports due, so they're just scraping the data straight off the SEC, I'm sure, and then it flows into here. Revenue, gross profits, operating income. So on Shopify side, you can see numbers are trending in the right direction, especially on the operating income side. So that's been leaving the negative territory probably the last year or so. If this is quarterly, we can click into here somehow. Which one is this? Yeah, so this is June last year, big negative. So anytime something like that happens, there was a reason. So you go and find either in the news and in the filing when they had that quarter, they'll state whatever, maybe large expenses or unusual something. Not worried about that type of a thing. But they just had earnings, so we're looking for how can they capture the e-com market over the next 10 years. And I think Shopify has a real play in the way that Amazon just came up and took over. And now they're where you buy. Amazon is the online equivalent of CVS's, Walgreens. That what they occupied in real estate terms, like for 50 years, that is now the Amazon, Walmart, like got eaten up by Amazon. So Shopify is basically the place where everyone who's doing small business e-commerce, like they need that platform in the same way that the iPhone provided the App Store for developers. So anyone software developer wise needed like a storefront with a pretty uniform and trusted way to handle the user interface, right? The way that the customer would be familiar with. Every time you wanted to go get an app, it was quite easy and familiar, and it really just worked. Shopify stores, and I know this from personally building a lot in our business over the years, but they are really intuitive, really user-friendly. I think customers, most of the time, if it's a Shopify experience, they don't realize anything about it. They just flow through, they're checking out, and everything works. And I know this as the back-end side because we've been in there for years and years. We've been using Shopify. We started, I want to say, definitely had played around maybe 10 years ago in some ways with them, but then for the last 6 years, we've really like been pitching clients on using them if possible. So I always like to look at stocks that I think the company and the business and the product is something I enjoy and like myself. So Shopify, as a user, I like it, and as a professional who installs and uses the platform for the clients, which are the businesses that Shopify wants as customers. They pay monthly to have the Shopify store. So, and then they get and usually every Shopify is getting a piece of all the transactions that occur. So this is how they get their money. Every time you check out, say you buy a $30 shirt, that little processing fee, that credit card and all that for just facilitating transactions, that's where Shopify is getting its money and monthly income, and good business model of apps also, because like I said, with the iPhone, the developers, there's all kinds of developers on the Shopify app side, and they have this whole ecosystem, whereas a store, you can add plugins, make things, it's really kind of technical detailed unless you're in web development and stuff, but just ways to enhance the user experience, make, pop-ups, deals, higher converting store visits, things like that. And these are paid apps into the Shopify store that the business owner, they pay then the developer. Shopify's getting a piece of that. And they just announced, and I'm not going to even talk on it right now, but there's AI plays coming, and just them integrating with social platforms. That's really big. That they have that deal in place. They have the deal with Facebook or Meta, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, to be tied in natively to the content experience. Bing, takes you right over to the Shopify page through the store. This is all like an API backend linking, and it's very, very good for the customer because it's fast and easy and flows nice. Facebook tracks, knows all the data along the way, so purchasing habits, customers, ads, targeting, and all that's fed well. And business owners, of course, happy because you're finding the right audience through the platforms, which is their purpose, right? To connect everything it knows about people out on social platforms with the advertisers who want to reach them. So it's a really good internet play for a 10-year period, Shopify. Everything's in place at this point, and they're a chosen winner. And they do not make up a large amount of the web right now. They are, didn't come with numbers exactly, but they're mostly on a WordPress, the world is mostly on a WordPress websites, as far as like percentage of the web that's built on what type of platforms and such. Shopify, last I saw, was still probably lower than 10%. I want to say it was like 4 or 5%. And then there's like Wix and things like that. But the way that iPhones and Shopify and just social platforms are tied in with purchasing now, it's basically home shopping network at home all the time. Like ads just in your face, and you tap your thumb, boom, boom, boom. Like you're sometimes 3 taps away from spending money, maybe less. That's powerful, and everyone's walking around with this phone in their hand all day long. So that's a pretty big move if you believe in purchasing habits continuing. And like I would say, Amazon, what Amazon has been as far as e-com went the last 10 years, this would be, to say this is the next Amazon. Shopify is the next Amazon. I think that's really where we're gonna see like big growth in terms of the stock, but also just it's gonna eat up more of the web. It's just gonna become the easier option. Businesses will keep choosing it, I would say, and developers have chosen it. They like it. The platform works well. Again, on the WordPress side, I know this just from our business. WordPress had plugins, and in the same way I was talking about with how Shopify works. Shopify is basically like the iPhone and the App Store. WordPress is like Windows back in the 90s, and you could install any program anyway, all these ways, and there was bugs, and some of them broke, and then there's issues in spam and malware. Like WordPress is so powerful, but it's old, and it's got that old code of basically, 20 years type of old code. And Shopify's got that leaner, sexier, really made for more of a mobile internet. That's the big thing too, is you want to pick these companies, like I was talking about in another video with how Intel was just hit so hard the other week. You got to pick these companies who, in a way, they're better placed for what has actually occurred in technology in the world the last 5 years or so. Because it kind of changes, especially on technology. It really changes pretty fast in terms of 5-year periods. Like, we've got the ChatGPT AI thing people are talking about right now. And imagine in 5 years, because I don't think really nobody, I would say average, outside of like marketing and business people are playing with it. Nobody is generally using it as their new Google yet. And I think that we'll just skip that entirely. I think we'll skip where you start Googling on ChatGPT and we just got something even faster, better, maybe weirder, right? Like Siri or something like it that actually works, like Jarvis or something. But that's what I'm liking on Shopify. They've got it all lined up. They've got the right timing, the right way. If things are in line, and in another 5 years from where what they've already accomplished here, their numbers are strong. They're at this point kind of a market winner. You can bet on this now in a way. That's what I like to think. And like I said, the product is solid. It's such an important aspect of this, because I have not looked at the financials truly hard yet, but I can tell you that the product that they have, the business, is so good that yeah, you'd want to own some. You'd want to own a piece of this business, because they have figured out a really better way to do things online. That's what the best businesses are, like the better mousetrap. So they found the better way to do e-com and and shopping and checking out and purchasing for small businesses. Because the other thing, small businesses, that's I didn't even really talk on this, but they have so much to win by an easy system for them to just learn and like plug into and throw their things online and get back to what they're making or what they do in their actual craft or their business, their trade. And Shopify is a winner for both sides. So I think it's going to be a big winner in the long run. I'm going to be looking further at the breakdown here, and I'll have another video where I really go through the visuals I was looking at and some of the data on them. But definitely worth the look. I think they had some positive news now, so I know I'm not worried about urgency. I think that we have time. There's just a 5-year type of plan here, type of a play that I'm doing. So I'm looking, when will we start averaging into them heavier, or what are we going to take out of, or is it just a little cash by, like as I get cash, we'd add to the portfolio holding of this. But I'm going to break that down in another video. Talk to you later.